Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for this opportunity to present Liner to everyone and to kind of just bring this forth to people who could benefit from it. So my name is David. I'm one of the campus leads here at UC Davis. And being part of Liner, it's just been an insane experience getting to learn from all the people and what this product does. So I know I briefly went through it in the morning, but I'm just going to be sharing a little bit about what Liner is. And then secondly, I'll just show how to actually use Liner and how Liner can help you for your hackathon today or just for your general coursework. So what is Liner? Liner is an AI search engine for academic and industry researchers, helping them find reliable information. So I know that at least for many of you guys, when doing homework assignments, researching papers, or finding essays, information is really difficult to find, and it takes a lot of time to find information that is credible and reliable. So according to McKinsey, like I've just mentioned, most of the time is spent searching for this right information, and it's crucial to not only to be able to find this fast, but also quickly. So right now, I will just give a quick demo of how Liner actually works, and then afterwards, I'll be delving into it further. So if you guys can see that on your screen as well online, here we've asked, how do fluctuations in crude oil affect the prices of the petrochemical sector? So similar to ChatGPT, it'll populate you a response. However, if I look to this first line and I click on it, right, it gives me two resources from McKinsey. So here I can actually go click on the resource and it will lead me to the research paper by McKinsey where I got it from. Another great feature about Liner is if you go here and you click cite, I can actually cite the resource where I got it from. So this is perfect. If you're writing an essay and you need to find credible resources, I can have it MLA formatted, Chicago formatted, all with one click. So same thing for here. If I wanted to go to this first line and say, okay, how did they come up with changes in oil prices after consuming spending? I can click on it again and it will lead me to the same website. So that's just a quick demo of how Liner works. I can go into it afterwards. Like I've mentioned, Liner is the top 10 most used Gen AI in the world. So along with ChatGPT and Perplexity, Liner is ranked by A16Z, which is Andreessen Horowitz, one of the most popular venture capital firms in the country, as being in that top 10 of most Gen AI used products. So why has Liner been expanding into the US and what is our goal ultimately? Well, upon research, we've found that a lot of our users that are using Liner as a service are actually based in the US. And so with our mission, we want to expand to our consumers who are using Liner here. So as I've mentioned, as I've shown in the demo, Liner provides you one, a direct and concise answer, and two, curated sources. And of recently, we actually just had great news that Liner was the most accurate AI search. So compared to Perplexity Pro, as well as GPT 4.0, Liner Pro was the most credible in terms of finding information that's academically backed. So as I mentioned in the previous opening ceremony, if you actually scan that QR code up there, the top one, you can get 6 months free of Liner Pro. What's great about this is you just enter in that you're part of the SacHacks organization, sign up with your EDU email, just want to make that sure. Sign up with your EDU email, not personal, so you can get that 6 months pro. And feel free to try it out, see how it is, see how you like it. And I hope you guys enjoy, but I'll give a few minutes for everyone here, whether you're in person or online, to just sign up and scan the QR code. And then secondly, we'll be going more into actually how to use Liner and how it applies to your daily life. So I'll just give a quick minute here. Hello. Good.
That was so tricky.
Yeah, I know. One of them was locked and then one of them was open.
Oh, I went to the other doors first.
Right. Let's get into the second part. Okay, perfect. Can everyone see my screen? Perfect. Okay. So I'll just be going over basics on how to use Liner. So right now I'm here on the Liner Pro. So as you can see with my account, I have Liner Pro. And so does anybody have a good question that they want to ask? Any prompt? Just feel free to throw anything out there. Any prompt? Yes.
How do I create a successful project in 12 hours?
How do I create a successful project in 4 hours? Okay, that's a good question, especially relevant for this event. So I can type here, how do I create a successful project within 12 hours? So as you can see, when I answer the question, it first breaks it down into a series of processes. So as you can see up here, it breaks it down into manageable and bite-sized steps. So here you can see, it would say, okay, stage one is you need to be able to plan and organize what your project is, right? So how I would use Liner specifically, how to create a successful project is I could say, okay, here, look, focus only on what is essential to achieve success within the frame of 12 hours. What I can do is I can go and click here, the source on the side by Graduate Northeastern. I can click on it and I can actually read more into actually how do I manage my project. So it tells me, okay, have a well-defined project, remain flexible, attentive, which is great. So what I would do in this scenario is I would read the whole article, take away maybe 3 or 4 important bullet points and then go back to it. So again, like I said, this doesn't just apply to this type of prompt. You can always, again, go back to the side and I can press the citation button. I can get MLA format, APA format, Chicago formatted all with one button and it's super seamless. Another thing too is say you're in a 12-hour project and you're really crunched for time. What I can do is I can click the summary button and what it shows me here is a general paragraph about the summary of this article and then it gives me a few key points. So instead of having to spend that time reading for 10, 15 minutes, it gives me 3 bullet points already. So it breaks it down, how to have a successful project. So this is just one of many ways you can use Liner in your everyday life, especially with today's event and tomorrow as well. I'm going to pass it on to my colleague to tell you more about the other features of Liner Pro.
Hi, so one of the other features that Liner Pro has that's super cool is the essay mode, and this basically allows you to write an essay in your own voice. So what you do essentially is you can put different essays, data are and then it kind of like it kind of takes into account the way you write and your writing style. And then if you ask a question like, let me just say, write an essay about artificial intelligence and I click enter. As you can see on the top, it shows my voice and it's generating an essay right now. And this takes into account your writing habits so that whatever output it gives you sounds pretty similar to what you normally write like And this is super useful if you ever are worried about how to phrase anything, or you just want like a rough draft of an essay, but not want it to be completely like AI generated. Like this sounds like something a human would write, and specifically something you would write.
Vicky, do you want to share with us another feature? You can talk about the LLM part. So here, if it works, let's go back. Okay, yeah.
So another great feature that Liner has is that there are different models that you can use while you're also in the Liner website. So as you can see here, there is a Liner Basic, Pro, like weekend. There's also the 4, which is and you can always like play around with the other models as well. So this is the multiple package type of build.
Amazing. Yeah. So at least for what's great about this is that not only does it allow you to use Liner's model in terms of their LLM, but it also allows you the flexibility to use different types. So say I wanted a different output response, and I just wanted, let me see, I want Gemini's response on a how to create a successful code structure or whatever you want. Okay, so what it does here is I just asked it, oh, how do I create and develop a successful app, or how do I develop and create a successful code structure for a health and wellness app? So I know, at least for this event, one of the sections was entrepreneurship. So I believe there was a section today in the SacHacks for that. So this could be a possibly an idea. Is again, it'll break it down to you how to go about doing this, and same thing. It uses the LLM feature of Gemini 1.5 Pro to be able to craft that response. So if you always wanted to switch, you always can, and it offers you a bunch of flexibility with that. Another main feature of Liner that I really do want to touch upon is Liner's scholarly feature. So at the beginning, I mentioned that Liner is catered towards students, but also researchers. So if you're in academia or you hope to pursue a PhD, you go into an MBA, Liner is really catered towards academic researchers. So let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to go back to Liner Pro, and I can actually I can go back and I can find research articles tailored to what I need. So I'll go here and say, what are the main risks associated with lung cancer? So say this is something that I'm developing for my thesis and I want to find resources for that. I go here on Liner Pro, and what I want to emphasize is I want to click on that scholarly feature. That's all the section. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to click the arrow button. Another great thing that I should also mention is the good thing about Liner is you can fine tune your answers. So I can have the standard output response, but I can also go in depth, which is more long and detailed, or I can just keep it brief. Just tell it to me short. Tell it to me in 5 sentences, and it'll output it that way. So I can fine tune my answer. Once I do that, I click send. And again, Liner is going to use its proprietary database in order to sort those articles. So as you can see on the right, it says scholarly papers only. I can always turn this off and find web articles, but in the mind of a PhD student or an MBA, I want academic papers that are well sourced and well trusted, right? So here, I can find one saying, okay, semanticscholar.org. I can click on it, and it already leads me to a PDF that's not only backed by a lot of academics, but it's more than trusted. As you can see, it has a bunch of citations. Again, I can do the same cite feature. Let's look inside and just find a few things that I think are interesting. Okay, so let's see. Radon gas might be a cause of lung cancer, right? Okay, where did they get this journal from? They got this journal from that same that journal, the British Medical Journal. And I can actually see here, it shows me how many citations this received. So it honestly provides me more security to what's reliable. You can see here, this one has 13. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but again, it's just more of a peace of mind. So I can go and I can click in again, and then I can see where it got those things from. So where did it get? Radon gas is one of the causes. So that's another great feature of Liner is just the ability to have sound academic citations and evidence that backs up your answers. Unlike ChatGPT and Complexity, which don't specialize in those things. And so, yeah, what I want you guys to do right now is if you have Liner open or if you have your laptop or your phone, I would highly recommend you to just take a few minutes right now, just ask it a question that might guide your project research process, or maybe you're in the middle of project creating. So I highly encourage you guys to do that. Maybe just take a few minutes right now. I mentioned another great feature about Liner Pro is the attachment section. So just like many similar AI Pro feature tools is that I have the ability to attach PDFs. So if I click the paperclip icon, I can go in and I can attach all the documents that I need. And so here I can actually show you guys a few types of different things you can use Liner for. Say you're researching, you're in a poli-sci class and you need to find recent trends, tariff trends in the US. It's very great for that. I've also actually used Liner for resume review, which if you're a student, particularly undergrad, and your resumes is always something really important. You want to get the job, you want to secure the internship. What's really great is if you just attach the file, attach your resume, and Liner will sort through it and edit your resume. It's a less common use case, but it's a use case that I use personally. But yeah, once again, I just encourage you guys to just take a few minutes right now, ask it a few questions, and see how you like it. And we'll give a few minutes before we close out. And then if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask any of us, or maybe through the chat box on StreamYard. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to in the chat. So we'll give a few minutes and then we'll come back the next. Alrighty.
Okay.
I have a question. Does the web app also tell us how to do the citation? Maybe that's something that students struggle with, like what kind of citations? Like when they say MLAs, they're always like, what do I write? So is that like is a feature or is it something that you're comfortable with how to cite?
Right, at least in the citation. So the question was, does Liner tell you how to create citations? Is that right? Yeah. So I would say what Liner does is that it already uses a specific format for those different citations. So for example, MLA, Liner already has the structure that they use. Because I'm sure there's a standard structure that we all learn: last name, first name, year, right, and then the title. So to answer your question, I don't believe it tells you at least how to cite it, but I'm sure it's the same thing with any search engine. If you do ask Liner, same thing with ChatGPT, you break down how to actually cite a resource, it'll give you a step explanation on how to do those things. But in terms of citation, it's more of a built-in feature that automatically cites the sources for you. So like I said, you could just click one button and it's ready to copy to your clipboard. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yes.
So does Liner for you, or is it like an outline, or is it able to?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the question is, does Liner write the paper for you? So to answer your question, tying back to the essay feature that I previously actually did a mock demo of, yes. So what it does is that it uses 3, 4, or as many basically attachments of your personal writing style, and then as it will detail and write out the essay in your own voice. However, if you did say you just wanted more creative direction and you just wanted an outline, Liner will be more than glad to just give you a rough outline, have the creativity and just give you some broad guidelines. But no, I really find this feature pretty useful because it actually does copy my writing style. So if we look closely, I attached one essay from my Music 11 class freshman year, and then I attached another case study that I did with my group for my economic development class, and that's actually scary how similarly it writes to how I write. So Yeah, to answer your question, it does. However, if you want flexibility and you just want general guidelines, you can also do that.
So when Liner writes for you, does it also automatically add in the citations necessary?
That I don't believe so. I think it just writes the essay, but it's a great thing that we're here so we can try it out together. So if I go AI essay. Okay, yeah. It actually does.
Wow.
Correction, live time correction, yes, it does. So if we go back to the example that Tria gave us, it shows us the sources where it got it from. So if I look, encompassing technologies that enable machines to simulate human cognitive function, click on it, and then it actually sources it from IBM.com. So yeah, it says here on the section, the fact check section, and it shows you where it got it from. I scroll down to another great thing is that it just gives me a bibliography. So that's also cool too. But like I said, another thing that I should mention is that you can also source the citations from most relevant to least relevant. You can also do it from newest to oldest. So the feature that I use is most credible to least credible. So that's what you see here. So if I scroll down, Britannica.com, it's not necessarily as credible, but IBM.com I believe is a pretty reputable firm company. So they do also know they know about the information that they're putting out there. Yes.
Yeah, so when I think like what you actually use for research, usually like when people go and find and skim papers, is that something that can be automated by using Liner, where it's providing the kind of paper that they want to search through and see citations of? Is that something that
You guys want to take this one?
Yeah, so just to repeat your question, are you talking about like the types of articles that you want to use for?
No, so just like when you go through a topic or like the tool that you go through, like skim through a few papers, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that Liner can help with, like finding out articles and citations and something that's more trustworthy?
Yeah, I think instead of being able to skim through a few papers, what Liner does is if you ask a question, like David showed, you can kind of like see like a bunch of different like sentences and where they lead to. So if there's something you're like interested in and you click that sentence, then you can go to that article and then you can kind of skim through like all of those articles on the side. And then in terms of your citations, all of those will already be cited through Liner.
That answers everything. Yeah, we love the questions. Also, some previous fun trivia background information is that Liner originally started as a highlighter service in 2013. So it actually started as a Chrome extension, those things that you download from the Google Store. And it just started out as a highlighter Chrome extension, just to highlight main sources. It was just a sourcing material type of software. And then most recently, it's been heavily developing and investing and just working on this whole AI interface on how to help people become smarter faster, which is one of our taglines, how to help people become smarter faster. And so also recent news is that a few months ago, Liner raised Series B funding. So we posted on our LinkedIn, currently a Series B startup. So that helps, it provides enough insight. I know Alex, who is our head of US operations, will be more than glad to talk about, the whole startup journey. So if you're in this hackathon, either virtually, in person, and you have a vision of creating a startup, how to navigate a startup, especially in the technology sector, I believe Alex would be a very great resource for those of you who are watching. He'd be a very great resource, so I would highly recommend coming out at 5 p.m. Correct. 5 p.m. just to, hear the fireside chat with Alex. Pick his brain. It's really great resource. And so, yeah, we're always open. If there's anybody that would love to connect with any of us, or at least with the Liner, either here or our team in South.
Well, we would like to thank Liner coming out so much for coming back to Hackathon. And we have a round of applause for Liner. They're getting 6 months free, so make sure you sign up for it. We're going to have a fireside chat with the head of US operations for Liner, so thank you guys.
Yes, of course.
David.
I'll just leave this up for a little bit.
Sure.
If they want to sign up.
Let me sign up.